Ooh, what's up, jobbers, and welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, is Nestlemania alongside for the ride is a man that would spear me out of my shoes and then take them for his own pleasure, JC.
I don't want your smelly ass shoes. Fuck that.
Even if they were Air Jordans?
No, because your stinkiness would definitely kill the value.
I'm just telling you right now, I have very good smelling feet. Would you like to smell my feet?
No, I think feet are the most vile part of the human body, and if anyone touches me with them, I will not be a happy camper.
So you're not happy, is what you're saying.
No, I have the opposite of a foot thing. I have an anti-foot thing. You're anti-feet here on the Jobber Knocker podcast on the JC side of the fence.
Let's just put it for two of us. We'll just put it that way.
And we are no feet allowed.
No feet
socks
allowed.
only.
Socks on during the knocking is what we do here. Socks on during knocking. So
never come off, baby. Keep them on 24/7. It's not if you're at the beach or the pool. It's the only time bare feet are allowed.
Great advice. We got a lot to talk about. Unfortunately, the passing of Hulk Hogan. We've got a WWE Unreal happened as well. We've got the rest of the whole shebang, and then of course at the end of the night we've just talked about
the jingle.
Go ahead.
SummerSlam. SummerSlam. I know TJ loves this.
I was just about to say, TJ would have shit all over it if you didn't do it. So TJ looks and waits for that every sinking year. So there you go.
I think I started the year they had like SummerSlam in like Nashville or something, and it just kind of keep going. I know it was in New Jersey this year, and I think it was like Detroit last year. So, but everyone's got guitars,
Sure. I don't think any guitar ever created goes
SummerSlam.
You're fucking ridiculous. Anyway, 2 nights of it, which honestly, I'm going to throw this out here for everybody involved. I don't think the cards need to be 2 nights. Like this card, I understand we're shoehorning a bunch of shit in here, but I looked at the first night and the second night and I went, did not all these need to be on here, but that's okay.
Yeah, we can hit on this because I'll say, I had the week off. Usually when I have the week off last week, I come back like super refreshed and excited, which I am. But it's just like, I think we were just kind of like mentioning it before when I was talking about how I didn't have a hope yet, which I still don't, by the way. So that'll be interesting when we get to that. But most weeks I don't, so it's kind of normal. But I was looking through SummerSlam being like, oh, pay-per-view week is an easy way to pick up a hope. And I'm just like, none of this stuff super excites me enough to be hopeful with it. So it's just like, I don't know. There is one thing in the shine it's getting me really excited. You know what it is because I love car wrecks. But there's nothing much to hope for except for nobody dies. But we'll get more into that later. But I do kind of agree. I don't think it's just a 2 nights thing. I just think SummerSlam this year, I don't know. The Bills just seem kind of
I think a lot of the backloading of the Evolution pay-per-view and the Saturday Night's Main Events have caught up to them during the summer. I really do.
For sure.
And I think we're really, as a fan base, we're kind of, I don't know, I'm a little fatigued. I don't know. I want to enjoy SummerSlam, especially since, it's around a particular celebration of my birth coming up. So, I like to enjoy it, but we'll see. I'm sure I will enjoy it one way or the other. Anyway, before we get off into the regular part, there's, it's old news at this point, unfortunately. The passing of Hulk Hogan, obviously the icon, obviously the reason that WWE is where it is today in terms of the global phenomenon that it is. Obviously, there are other flag bearers, but he was probably the most notable in terms of the thing that everybody, you equate a brand like Band-Aid. Band-Aid's not actually the name of the thing, but that's what people call it. Wrestling is what Hulk Hogan does or did. So in that aspect of life, Hulk Hogan, the character, created a larger than life feeling for wrestling and what is a superstar. Obviously, you people, out there, anybody can feel how they feel about it. We're not really going to discuss too much of it. I'm just going to say, I think Ray, our friend, put it eloquently on Facebook and maybe on Twitter. I don't know if he did it, but he said, love the character, wish the human being lived up to the character's morals, which is probably the best way I can describe it. Obviously, when anybody dies, it's tragic. I feel for his family and his friends who will miss him. As a young Hulkamaniac, that was one of my guys until obviously I grew older and things changed. But to his family, the best of luck and trying to figuring out how to navigate life after a loss like that. It's never easy. I remember when I lost my dad, how difficult it was. So I can only imagine what those two are going through. So as a person, I'm sure it's tough, for all those people to deal with it. So that's all I'll say. And we'll move on to the positive part of the program, unless you have something you want to say.
Yeah, no, it's for me, it's pretty simple. I mean, I didn't really put anything out like I normally would on social media, because it's for me personally. I can only speak for me, and I feel like a lot of people are on this side and on many sides, but sometimes it's hard for me to separate the man from the character. And obviously, we know the man had some flaws down, but when a man dies, for me, my thoughts that isn't the time to pile on because, like you said, there are real people affected by it. And he did mean a lot to this industry and to wrestling in general, and you can't ignore what that character brought. So, yeah, it's I don't really have much personally to add to it, but that's just kind of my stance on these type of things.
All right, moving on. I haven't watched this yet. I've been aching to, but I have a lot on my plate as a podcaster, a worker, and then as a father and a husband. But I want to get to WWE Unreal. It looks a lot of fun. JC has had the privilege of watching a couple episodes. I'm gonna let you sell me on it. I'm gonna let you do your thing.
So this was something that, like, obviously we had heard about a little bit, and I think you were kind of more excited for this than I was. I was just kind of like, I don't know. There's no way they're gonna do it justice, but obviously some of the clips have leaked out in the leading into this, like they do of some of the behind the scenes stuff, and I was like, okay, there's enough here to like pique my interest. And then this morning, I saw more people doing it. I was like, you know what? I want to make an effort to watch some of this stuff. So I'm gonna get unreal with you here for a minute. Take off the sunglasses because they're distracting. But the first episode, it kind of is a slow start for those of us who like watch wrestling all the time, because they're just kind of getting into backgrounds of like the major players like Triple H, Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley, John Cena and stuff. And I was just kind of like, oh, is this what it's going to be? But I will say I am now about 3.5 episodes in, and I am absolutely loving this series, because you're definitely getting that behind the scenes stuff that they've teased, like the writer room meetings, the Zoom calls, the kind of connecting the dots stuff that they have, and then like access to the wrestlers. Like there's a gimmick they do with everyone where they have them list all their names. And Cena's is the most corny because he goes, my name's John Cena. My government name is John Cena. My character name is John. It's kind of stuff like that. So there's some aspects of that, which is cool because, as you know, both of us in this program love the behind the scenes stuff. I think a lot of our listeners do too. But the thing that really sold me on this show is just the production values off the charts. And you'll see, for those of you, our boy Danny from across the pond asked the question. He's like, I saw the first name, executive producer Peyton Manning. He's like, isn't he like a football star? And I didn't realize that this is pretty much like an NFL Films production. Like that's who was working on this. And immediately watching it, that's kind of what it felt like. That type of access, that kind of production value, that type of storytelling, that type of creativity with the way it's edited and shot and the access and just so that part of it I'm really enjoying. Obviously, we're people who work in production and television stuff, and I've done documentaries, so I kind of like really enjoy when you see stuff that's super well done. So that part to me really sold me, but there is some really cool stuff. I will say episode 3 so far has been my favorite. It's the Chelsea Green episode. She is an absolute fucking star. If you didn't love Chelsea Green before this episode, you are going to fucking fall in love with her because she is awesome. She steals the show, but it's a fun show. It's definitely worth the watch if you're on the fence. I think it's definitely worth it because it has that mix of getting the real life stuff, the behind the scenes stuff, and then just like a really good production. So for me, that checks 3 boxes, and yeah, I recommend it, and I'm excited to probably finish it tonight after we finish recording the podcast.
Wow. You said there were 5 episodes?
5 episodes, all a little under an hour, and I think I'm 3.5 way through. So, if I'm watching something before I watch NXT Nestlemania, you know it's got to be good.
That's true. It's the best wrestling in the entire world. So, HBK likes to cook. So anyway, we should get in the regular part of the program now. We're always in the shine like Mandy Rose, no matter where she is in the world. And, well, JC, since you're Mr. Positivity and you weren't here last week as Dommy was here cutting and strutting, would you like to take the floor?
Yeah, I'm throwing you a curveball this week, Nestlemania, because you just mentioned HBK.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to start with NXT and the Shine this week, Nestlemania.
Whoa.
Because there was a segment that I absolutely loved. And, Dom will appreciate this too, because him and I might be the biggest all ego fans there are on the planet. But that segment with him, where he debuted his Canadian North American belt. First of all, that belt is fucking beautiful. But I just absolutely love this because I'm watching this and I'm like, man, Ethan Page is just so perfect for WWE. And I'm glad they're being patient with it. But he is just like that Miz type, Chelsea Grin, we just mentioned, the person they're like, backstage he's not saying no and he's willing to do everything, whether it's the most serious thing or the most unserious thing, but he's going to knock it out of the park. But to me, like, because I watched a lot of wrestling very quickly when I got back from my week and a half hiatus, I fucking had to slam it all in. And when I thought about it, what stood out to me the most was that segment, because I thought it was one of the best well things done of the week. And we feel like we haven't got it a lot recently with people putting their own spins on titles. And I thought this was a great segment and a great new look for the title.
I mean, when I originally saw it, I went, oh, wow, that's going to be great on the WWEshop.com. It's going to be especially in Canada, people are going to fucking love that belt. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I know indirectly it's supposed to be a heel thing, but I think as a nation, people that are Canadian or love being Canadian or whatever are going to get that belt. And that's going to make a shit ton of money for the WWE. And it does go without saying that NXT is a factory, but Ethan Page is a star when he was in TNA. He was a star when he was in AEW, and he's definitely a star in NXT. And it's just when he gets to the main roster, people are going to have to worry about TV time because this guy is really special. So, and if you noticed, he's not all ego JC tonight, folks. He's Kentucky Fried Convict. So,
should we talk about that?
Since you got tickled by it, go ahead.
Jump over to SmackDown. And guys, I will say this. I'm a sucker for a good insult. Logan Paul called Jelly Roll like Kentucky Fried Convict. I fucking fell out of my chair. Because it rolled off the tongue. And it was just like, I don't know who came up with this. Maybe it was Logan himself. But it's like, this is like, when I'm in a Logan Paul feud, this is the kind of shit I'm expecting. And so obviously this is a random ass tag match with celebrity involvement at SummerSlam. So the match is going to be like whatever. You just like, it'll be cool to see Jelly Roll probably beat up Logan Paul and get the pin, and Logan's probably going to get an RKO. Drew, if he's there, will eat an RKO. But it just like the lead up to this has been fun. And that's all I can ask for with these types of matches, because let's be real, none of us are being like, oh, I can't wait to see that match. It's like, whatever, it's a match. But all I can ask is the lead up has been fun, and I think it's been one of the more entertaining parts of SmackDown the last few weeks. So, I was a sucker for the one-liner, and I think they're doing a good job building it.
So the one thing I will say about this, and I know this is me being nitpicky Nestle, and that's fine. The one thing I did notice about on SmackDown on last Friday was this was the first time we actually saw Jelly Roll get really physical in terms of the wrestling prowess, which again, I know he's not a wrestler. He's an entertainer. He's an artist. So I have to keep that and taper my expectations of everything. However, I will say that they really need to they need to do a good job of protecting him without making him look foolish, because I'm sure that motherfucker wants to go full tilt, wants to do everything he possibly can. And I think less is more in this particular situation. Milk it, wait for the moment here for Saturday or Sunday. I think it's Saturday, right?
I believe so.
So, I mean, milk the moment, wait for the moments for him. Don't make him do too much. He is, you know what I mean? Like, selling's fine, but in terms of the amount of effort he's doing wrestling wise, I would hope that he does not a lot and sticks to the basics. When he did that big boss man slam, I thought that was wonderful at the end on Friday, but there were other portions where I was watching him and I'm like, okay, there's a little, I'm surprised. Maybe he's not ready for prime time, but they're going to protect him in a way. I'm sure it'll be a fun match, but there's always that little bit of me that if I can't believe it, I'm just like, fuck. But I know it's a celebrity. I have to taper my expectations. But I saw a couple things on Friday that made me go, I don't think I feel comfortable with that. I'm reminded that this is fake.
Well, the one thing that he has on his side is he's a big boy.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier to mask deficiencies when you're a big boy. And when you got Randy Orton sitting next to you. That's why he's a tag team match player. So, and I think Logan Paul is the perfect guy because he's going to sell out like crazy to make Jelly Roll look good as well. So, and if Drew, assuming he's there, will as well. So I'm not too worried about it, but yeah, I would assume this match is going to have a lot of Gaga and there'll probably be a lot of Randy. So
I just don't see Randy like reaching for the hot tag. You know what I mean? So that's like
he's going to have to win this match because Jelly's going to be the build up to get the big boy in there. So
I don't know.
Randy's going to have to put his working boots on because Randy's taking some bumps on Saturday, which we know Randy doesn't take no bumps unless he has to, but he loves Jelly Roll too. So he's going to take some bumps.
It's a little weird in my opinion, but anyway, it's still fun. I will say this much. Jelly Roll had an amazing promo where he was saying things about, he's a poor kid and He's doing this for the people and people that, are watching at home. If they have a dream that they can do it. Like, I was like, okay, this is a very passionate promo. The dude knows how to speak and how to connect to an audience. So for anybody that's like saying Jelly Roll shouldn't be in this position, they don't know what they're talking about, because just watching that promo last Friday, he connects with an audience. He knows exactly what he's doing. And I think that's why he is where he is in the world, because he's pretty talented. If you just watch the man, and I didn't really watch him sing either. I can just tell he's talented from connection to what he's speaking to an audience. I think that's wonderful. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this match shapes up for, I don't know. I will talk about it in the predictions, but I am curious what you think the finish might be. So
I think it's pretty pedestrian, but like you said, we'll get there. You know what's not pedestrian, Nestlemania? You know what gets JC excited? You know what had a lot going on Friday? Tables, ladders, chairs, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tag teams. Playa, that's a 12-man ladder match with tables and chairs. Oh my goodness. I am so excited to watch this. This is going to be a fucking shit show, but it is going to be super hot fire. There is going to be so much violence and ridiculousness, and the amount of athleticism in this match. I mean, we could just talk about Frax team alone. Never mind DIY. And the machine guns are going to try stupid shit. The Street Profits, Montez is going to be, and then you got freaking Nevermind Andrade and Fina. It's just like, oh my God, this is beautiful. This is going to be a work of ridiculous art, and Nestlemania is going to be sitting there watching this with his butt clenched so tight, being like, no one get hurt. Oh my God, this is so unsafe. What are you doing? Ah! And I'm going to be sitting there like, more. Oh, I cannot wait.
You want people to have broken limbs, huh?
I mean, for the sake of entertainment, Nestlemania, it's all part of the show. You enjoying the show?
Yeah, thanks, Triple H. Look, I when I heard 6 tag teams, I went, what the 4? Sure. I can say 4, 5, maybe 6. My goodness. My fucking goodness, man. Like 6 tag teams in a ladder match. Like, now granted, that's great, because then when there's big kabooms, they can go rest up and the next person can come in, which is great. My one caveat here is if the rest of the Wyatt 6 is in this shit, it's just like,
oh yeah, they're definitely. There's going to be spots with Rowan. There's going to be spots with Nikki. There's going to be spots with Bo. It's just like, that's the thing. It's like there's 6 tag teams, but then there's extra Gaga. Plus they can throw Candice out there as well. So they got options of chaos they can definitely have going on here.
I don't think I've ever seen, I mean, I think I've seen a 4 team, maybe a 5, but never 6.
Like, I don't think I've ever seen 6 either, but that's why I'm fucking, because we've seen like 8-man Money in the Banks.
Yes.
But this is fucking 12 people, never mind extra. I just can't wait. I can't wait. I just can't. This is probably my most
anticipated match of the whole evening. Whole weekend.
If it's not number 1, it's definitely number 2, because
you're a Cody honk.
I mean, yeah, I'm excited for that, but I mean yeah, it's those 2, but I don't know. It's different reasons, obviously.
Yeah,
this
obviously.
One is just chaos. The other one, I'm more interested in seeing if they can do a better job than they did last time.
Also, this might be an interesting point that I just popped in my head. This might be the most stipulations I've ever seen in a SummerSlam.
With 2 nights, I think you fucking need it, especially when we talked about how lackluster stuff was. You know what stipulations fix and mask Nestlemania? Fucking like bad stories or something that needs a little extra. And I think that's why, like, because a lot of the times with those, like, they make sense as feud enders, but also sometimes if you have a feud that, maybe it's just like, man, hasn't been the best, but we're going to make people remember it by having a street fight or having a cage, you know what I mean? And I feel like they did that with a lot of these because, like we mentioned off the top, Evolution, Saturday main events, like there's been a lot of things they've had to build towards, and SummerSlam came right after it. It's just like, it's a lot, and it's hard to get compelling stories when you have that little time and this many matches. Okay.
Anything else that you thought was super positive?
There were 2 things on Raw that I liked. First off, fuck you, Dom. Rusev's the man. Find me a bad. He says he can't find a good Rusev match. I say find me a bad Rusev match because they don't fucking exist. He is the perfect guy to put on TV and fucking let him have bangers. Same thing as Sheamus. That's why together, it's beautiful. Sheamus and Cesaro worked for the same reason, except for Rusev's had a lot more charisma than Cesaro did. But it's just like you need these types of guys on the roster. It's the definition of what a high-end mid-carder is. That's what they do. They come out and they fucking put on bangers. And you know what, Nestlemania? Sheamus and Waller had a banger. And you know what we're getting next week? Sheamus Rusev 3, I believe, is on Raw. That's going to be a banger. So you know what I say to bangers? Shine, 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 shine. And you know what I say to Dom? You're right about a lot of things, Mr. Dom, but not this.
You were going to call him Mr. Federico?
I was, but I didn't know if he wanted me to reveal his full last name. Mr. Feds. We'll call him Mr. Feds.
He works for the Feds.
Yeah.
Kevin Federline. Yeah, look, I mean, it was a great match. I'm a little confused on the Waller thing because, like, Waller looked yoked, by the way. He looked like he was on the gas.
He hasn't been on TV. He's got to be doing something.
All right. So now they're like, okay, great. He's the foil for all the comedy, which is fine. He's a super athletic dude, but then I'm just thinking to myself, the New Day's not really doing anything. Waller's not really doing anything. Like, what are we up to here? What are we trying to accomplish? I need a mission statement eventually. That's all.
I don't know if there is one, honestly. And I will say, if I was on the show last week, my biggest heat would have been how they broke up Waller in Theory. Because this is something they have been teasing for like over a year. And they've gone on and done different things, and they've had great segments potentially teasing it, and it hasn't happened. And for them to just do it like this, it's fucking terrible. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen them do with incredibly talented people. And they've done kind of the same thing with the New Day. They have this great thing with Big E. They're so fucking hated, and they win the tag titles, and they literally do nothing with them, and they use them nonchalantly to another heel. It's just like they took like 3 guys who are toys that they broke. They're perfectly good toys, but they broke them. And they put them together, and hopefully the 3 of them can just make magic together, because there are 3 guys that WWE has not done right by the last 6 months.
Fair enough.
Way too talented. We agree, right? Way too talented to be left on the side. So.
Absolutely. I think the tag team division needs a shakeup anyway. So I mean,
on Raw, yeah, I'd say so.
I think in general, I think there's just too much on top heavy on SmackDown that like you could spread the wealth literally. So
do you think we get a draft soon? Now that we're heading into fall, because I mean, sometimes they do them in the fall instead and after SummerSlam, but it's just like I feel like they ping pong people around however they want, anyways. But I don't know.
I think I could foresee something like they would do a season premiere draft.
Yeah, they could benefit from something like that. I think
because they always seem to get an uptick on the season debut or premiere of SmackDown or Raw or whatever. So I feel like maybe doing a draft would get your interest in there, but I don't know. I think the way that they do the draft sometimes really just feels like not as exciting now that we've done it so many times. So I don't know. I would just like to see something else. I would almost feel like the draft to me, it should just be NXT. Like bring up the people from
it's
NXT.
One of those where it's like you can have like transfer windows. Like kind of, it's just one of those. And I feel like they kind of did that around WrestleMania season. Remember where they had people going like Braun went to SmackDown and these other guys, and they had like kind of like that thing going on. But I don't know. There's no perfect way to do it, but I think like it's one of those like when interest is fading a little, which I think we're going to be having again after SummerSlam, it might be something that you pull out of the deck.
Keep in mind, we still have Clash at Paris coming up too. I mean, I don't know exactly when the date is.
That's the problem is the PLEs just keep coming and coming and coming and coming.
Yeah, it's a tough sell. It's a tough sell. Anything else, or would you like me to take over?
The only other thing I had is that I think the ending of Raw really needed to happen. I think Braun and Bronson really, really needed that segment because, and you guys kind of hitting it last week, feels very lopsided here, obviously, and that with the Seth thing kind of throws it off. And Braun has now had to ascend to this level where he's going to be there someday, but it was one of those, the whole point of this faction was to ease him there. And instead he's had to be shot right up. And he clearly he's ready for some things. Like I think in the Reign, and I think with like these type of segments, like he's there, but obviously some of the other stuff, the trimmings and the character stuff, he's not quite there yet because he just doesn't have that seasoning. But I think the segment here at the end with them absolutely annihilating Roman and Jay was something they needed going to this weekend to make this feel like it's an actual fair fight.
Yeah, I mean, I loved a lot of what happened at the end there. I mean, I I appreciate what Breaker's trying to do. He's put in an unenviable position, excuse me, and he's doing the best he can with what he has. However, it's just when I'm watching him, I'm just like, he's almost there, right? You can see it. It's like you can see the structure being built, but it's not fully done yet. And when I look at Breaker, I'm like, okay, let's not lose fact, and vision of that this guy is the next guy, but let's be patient with it. And when I saw him on Monday do the thing, like, I've got a plan, I'm stepping up, I got, and again, it was a very good way of making it seem like you said, where it was equal. And that's good. They stole the shoes and the whole bit, and they speared him and they killed him and whatever. I think Bronson Reed came out looking like $1 million out of this entire thing, which if you had to say which one isn't like the other, unfortunately, it's Bronson Reed, who probably didn't belong there. So I think this did wonders for Bronson Reed because I love Ozilla. I think he's great. I think he's a great henchman. Maybe an IC title run, US title run, sure. But in terms of being in those box office attraction matches, I can buy Jey Uso. I can buy, obviously, Roman Reigns. And then I can certainly buy Braun Breaker a couple of years from now, or the other guy with another guy. But it's a little tough. And so they did a fantastic job doing something. But I am not interested in this match once the bell rings. I'm really not.
See, once the bell rings is when I will be interested because I think these four guys will put on a banner. I think this will be a very fun actual in-ring match. It's just the storyline around this, I think, to me is what, because it's obviously was supposed to be Braun and Seth versus Roman and Jey, and then Bronson would probably interfere and help something there. But now without it, it's just like you're missing the big piece, the big important piece, and Seth and Roman, like the Braun and Roman kind of built up this thing, like coming out from the day after WrestleMania when he attacked, but like Seth and Roman was the glue. And then Bronson's, like you said, he's just heavy. He's a great performer, but you have three main event talents and Bronson Reed. So that's why, to me, like this thing was really necessary because you had to make the Brawns look like they belong in the ring with Roman fucking Reigns and Jey Uso, who just had the world title. So that's why, to me, it was shine because it was something that I pretty much fast forwarded the match because I was very fatigued at this point. But it was one of those when this happened, I was like, okay, this was important. This was interested. So instead of me completely dismissing this, now at least it's like, okay, they did what they could here to the best of their ability.
Something I wanted to bring up, unless you have something else to talk about.
Go for it.
I was actually interested. I was on this program 2 weeks ago and last week saying that I was not interested in the Gunther and Punk match. I think somebody woke the fuck up and decided to put on a fucking pair of pants and go to work because I thought this was a great promo from CM Punk personally. I think Gunther let him sit there and talk and do his whole thing. And I think they sold the want and the need for Punk to be champion. I think they sold Baby Huey as kind of like the champion, but not necessarily the guy, which I thought was interesting as well, even though he's been kind of a dominant force. I just think CM Punk did a phenomenal job talking about it. Like he needs it like air. And he's like, just saying all these things, you're not me. Like, I just thought it was a really, really well done promo. I wouldn't say it was a pipe bomb, but I will say I thought it really did a great job setting the table and potentially making that the main event of night one.
Yeah, this is definitely the best work they've done for this feud. Because again, I think this is one of these feuds that got shortchanged. And I think you'll be even more upset when you watch, what is it called? WWE. I just watched it all day and I can't find
Unreal.
Unreal. Yeah. When you watch Unreal, because as you will see in some of these meetings, like they put up the original WrestleMania plan. And as we all predicted, night one was supposed to be Gunther versus Punk for the world title. And obviously that switched when they decided to go with Jey in the Royal Rumble. But it was one of those, it's like, this was meant to be the second biggest match of the year. And so it got pushed here to SummerSlam. But not only did it get pushed to SummerSlam, it got pushed to SummerSlam with like 3 weeks build because you have fucking Gunther Goldberg leading into this. So it's just like, it's already been pushed back. It's already been shortchanged. And like you said, you feel like Punk hasn't really put on a good performance this week, which I can't disagree with. So it's just like, yeah, it's tough. It's one of those things because I feel like with a good build, you could convince me that maybe Punk would get this here. But it just like, I just feel like, I'm like, I don't know if he will, because it's like, obviously, like there's a Seth thing, which probably isn't going to happen because I personally think he's actually hurt. And maybe he would have been involved here. Maybe he would have been involved in Cody Cena. Who knows? But it just, to me, it's like also they have the thing with Drew where Drew said he'd never let him win either. Drew's obviously already on this card, but does he factor in here and cost him? But to me, it just feel like I don't feel like they've done a good job making me think that Punk's actually going to win. It feels like Gunther's just going to retain and we're going to move on. And Punk is going to go back to this weird territory where it's like, it feels like everyone wants him to get that, but they just don't know how to do it correctly. So it's just like, we'll do it later. And eventually it's going to be like, oh, fuck, this guy's old. So I don't know how to really feel about this feud.
Would you be disappointed if Punk wins?
Absolutely not, because I've said this and I think people think I'm like half joking, but I'm dead fucking serious. This version of CM Punk, this matured, like veteran, like happy to be there CM Punk is my favorite CM Punk I've gotten, because and I understand people being like, oh, he's watered down, whatever. It's like, no, I just think like he evolved. And like we talk about all the time in wrestling, like characters evolving, but it's like, not only did his character evolve, he evolved as a human being, and that made him more palatable for me. And I've just enjoyed this run because it's just been so different from what his other stuff was. And it's been the first time, because like I did like CM Punk as a kid at times. Like I thought he was really entertaining. I thought he was cool. But it was just like, I actually like want him to have these moments because I think it's cool. And like genuinely, I'm like, I see how he's changed. I see how people gravitate towards him and how he treats other people and all this. And he takes people under his wing that like, when he does have that moment, I'm going to be incredibly happy for him. It's just one of those, like, it felt like maybe his moment was last year or then this year. And now it's just like, we're pushing it here. But who knows? Maybe since now this is the first time where I'm not like, oh, it's going to happen. Maybe it will, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like they're going to do it.
Is this his first crack at the championship, like an actual match though?
He faced Cena for the
right.
other one.
So I mean,
but this one, yeah, I think so, because he never faced Seth when he had the title, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So this is his second title match, but his first
but first time
heavyweight.
This one. Yeah,
okay. So. I don't know. We'll talk about it when it comes to predictions. I'm interested to see what happens. I think it's a little too late, but we'll see. We'll see. Anything else, or would you like to go heat-wise? Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. So I have a couple of things that I don't know if let me just say this. I have zero hope for Jade and Tiffy. You want to talk about the lead up of just nothing. I mean, this one feels like, who cares who comes out on top? I mean, I hope it's Jade. I hope something happens here, but like, we assume the Naomi thing is not a thing anymore because she's on the other show. So that seems uninteresting to me. If you're going to really make Jade the champion, that's fine. But do we have enough people lined up for her? I don't know, that are interesting. You're going to sit here on the podcast and go, I can't believe Nia Jax is going to be facing Jade if she wins. So
that would be fine because it's not Tiffy.
Okay.
Nia Jax and Tiffy's been the problem.
Okay. All right. I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, I don't really care about this. I don't know.
I think you hit the nail on the head, because what did we talk about when Jade won Queen of the Ring? What was the intrigue for this match, Nestlemania?
That Naomi would cash in.
And so by creating that amazing moment you did at Evolution, the effect from that is this. This is the fallout, is that this match, now you have baby versus baby, two of your biggest baby faces on SmackDown, going head to head in a match where it doesn't feel like either one's going to turn. Tiffy's already had a horrific title reign, in my opinion. She had a very good match with Trish at Evolution that we didn't expect to be good. So maybe the same thing can happen here. Jade also had an amazing match with Naomi at Evolution. So maybe both of them can carry that momentum and have a good one here. I'm a little worried about it, but to me, like, yes, Jade should absolutely win. We'll see who I predict, but it's just like this Tiffy reign has to end because I think she needs to work some things out. I also think she's a way better heel. It's just the position they're in right now. It'd be great if they turned her and had a heel Tiffy versus a babyface Jade. I get into that. We could also argue Jade will be a better heel, but I get why she's a babyface now. But to me, the reason why Jade has to win and the only intrigue there is Bianca, because they haven't fully addressed that yet. It seems like they're mostly kind of cool, but they're mostly kind of not. Obviously, people want Bianca to turn heel at some point. I don't know if they'll actually do it, but maybe if Jade is your big baby face, you can do it, much like you were able to turn Cena because you had Cody. Maybe you can turn Bianca now because you have Jade, and you also have Io, and you have Rhea, and you have Stephanie. Like, you have you finally have these incredible, like this lineup of babyface women where you can be like, okay, maybe we can pull the trigger now on Bianca. And that's the feud. But I have a feeling like, I don't know, that feels like something that would come later. They wouldn't rush into that. So like you said, we'll get like the Nia Jaxes. Maybe we get a rematch with Tiffy. But it's just like, yeah, no, in Reign, our expectations have to be low for this, but they're both coming off good matches in Nestlemania, so I'm going to try to be optimistic, but yeah, I do hope Jade wins for sure.
I'm just not in the camp of thinking that, and I understand Jade looks like a star, but you can still be a star and be a heel. You know what I mean? So like,
oh, absolutely. But I think right now it just, especially what happened with Naomi, like she's still riding that babyface wave. I think Tiffy's the one who needs a heel turn more than Jade right now.
But I think everybody loves the way she looks and what she says.
I think everyone loves both these women look, but it's just like, if think about it, if Tiffy loses that title, like what are they doing with her? Whereas like if Jade doesn't, like there's plenty of things to do with Jade, as we've seen. It's just right now with Tiffy, like I feel like her momentum, it's just like it's low, even though she's over, but it's just, we see it all the time. There are people who are super over, but it's just like if she loses the title, like we know they're not good at booking non-title feuds. Like, is she just gonna, maybe she challenges Julia or something? They do something with that, but even still, it's just like, I don't know. It feels to me, it's like I feel like they got to figure something out with Tiffy because I just feel like it's been a mess for her lately.
Okay, fair enough. Something else I wanted to bring up. Well, I said it as a tweet, but I think it bears repeating here. Nikki Bella sticks out like a sore thumb, and not in a good way. When I watched her at the entrance, when I was like, "There's Stephanie." There's Rhea. There's Io. And then there's Nikki Bella. And I just was like, it's not just the wrestling. It's not just the presentation. It's just like she just doesn't fit the feeling, the vibe. Like, I don't know what it is, but like she's just not there. She's just not. And I commend her for everything she's done and everything she's gone through and everything. But she's not even on SmackDown. She's not even on SummerSlam. So, like, what's the point of keeping her around when she's not going to vie for anything? If she's a heel, let her be a fucking heel. But, like, I don't know. I was watching that. Well, I kind of watched the 8-woman tag. That seemed like useless. And then, I don't know, just watching that whole thing just made me go, like, Nikki Bella, fuck this. Like, I know that's probably not, like, the other 7 women in that match were incredible and I was enjoying it. But every time she got in the ring, I was just like, this is like going out on the dance floor with someone who doesn't know how to dance the fucking waltz. Like, it's just, they don't know what they don't know because something has sped up now and it's changed and it's more athletic and the women are better than the men. And it just, I don't know. Like, it just, I understand nostalgia for nostalgia and getting a paycheck to be a paycheck and whatever, but like, I'm not a fan of this at all. And I feel like they don't know what to do with her. The Liv thing basically derailed everything they probably had planned for her. And now they're stuck with her and they don't know what to do. And it just feels like I'm watching something that they don't want to produce and I don't want to watch. So what am I doing here? What are they doing here?
I will say this. Nikki Bella is incredibly over with most of the wrestling world. So it just like, I feel like, because a lot of people didn't have, like, to me, like, I agree. She sticks out like a sore thumb because the other 3 women that she came out with are like super over mega stars who can wrestle. And Nikki, as she admitted, you listen to the Cody podcast and she's also in an interview. She said, she's like, I'm not on the level with these girls. She said after the Rumble and stuff, she's like, I know I'm not there. I want to get there, but I know I have to work for it. And this is something that clearly she wants to do. She wants to have another run here. It seems like she's sticking around for a while. But you also said perfectly, like, her and Liv seemed like it was going to be a good feud, and it could have possibly led into a tag feud. So it's just like, yeah, now you're at this point where it's just like you're sitting there out there as a babyface, but it's like we just talked about it, and why I said they could turn Bianca is because they have fucking, you're looking at it right there, Stephanie, Io, Rhea. That's already fucking huge. In the other show, you have Jade, Tiffy, Bianca. It's just like the amount of the men's division has the same problems, but it's just like, especially in the women's right now, it's like so many good baby faces. That's why they quickly like flip Julia. They're like, oh, we'll flip Roxanne. That's why, that's why Liv succeeded so much because she's been one of the heels. It's just like, but even like Alexa and Charlotte are kind of baby faces. So it's just like, it's very unbalanced. So I do think if they want to give Nikki an actual chance, is they should flip her. Maybe you have her. Maybe she shows up in Paris and costs Stephanie. Maybe she does that in Nestlemania. We have a Nikki-Stephanie feud because you could obviously play off of her botching the name, but also it came down to them like in the Rumble or whatever there. So it's like there's something there, and she can be like, "You're stealing my spot," whatever. So it just, I think there is something there, and I think it's a lot easier to mask her deficiencies if she's a bad girl. But it's one of those where I don't know if that'll actually happen, but I think they should do it because that's actually a pretty good idea. And I think
that should have been your hope.
That's also a way you have Naomi keep the title,
right?
Like, and then she can go and she can defend against Io and Rhea and all these other baby faces we have, and Stephanie and Nikki can do a thing, and Nikki can put her over, and that'll make Stephanie a bigger star than if she would have been hot shot at the title. So yeah, that should have been my hope. That was pretty damn good.
It was good. I will say. I was going to take it a step further and go, maybe she should take a page out of her ex-lover's book and go full John Cena.
There you go. Parallels. You know? It's copycat league, baby.
Copycat league. No, I don't know. I just think that it'd be really fun because there's something about her that just doesn't fit. And I say, lean into it. Like, lean into it. Don't go for the nostalgia. Lean into it.
Yeah, you don't fit in this era. You were from a different era.
You don't fit.
Like, that's why with Trish, it was easy for her to be a heel because it's like, yeah, I'm not fitting in right now, so I'll just be a heel. And I think Nikki has more chops than Trish in terms of that character work.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think they can pull it off. But
and Nikki's a great bitch. So, you know.
Exactly. We've seen it plenty of times. So we know she's capable. You know my biggest heat of the week, Nestlemania?
That you weren't here last week?
No. Def Rebel struck again.
Oh, no.
That remix to Roxanne's song is so fucking bad. Like, it's like they give the controls to a fucking deaf 2-year-old and they play with the buttons. What the fuck is this shit? It got spoiled to me before because I wasn't watching live and I saw people tweeting about it. But I'm like, you know what? I'll try not to listen to the whole thing. I'll give it a chance. That fucking hit, and I was just like, how are they this bad? Like, it has to be a bit, right? Like, you can't be this consistently bad at making music and remixing really good songs and making them so much worse. It has to be a bit. It has to be. Because this is so fucking bad. It's so bad. And I'm watching the entrance, and Roxanne does this thing. She has the cute little smile, and they go around her, and it's all like, oh, and that's why we all love Roxanne. But I was like, I'm trying to be like, if I'm in her head right now, she's probably like, this fucking music sucks. These pieces of shit are ruining my entrance. Because that's how I would feel. Disgusting.
What do you expect from 3 nerdy white guys who probably don't have any rhythm?
I can't fathom it. Because I feel like to be this consistently bad has to be a skill. Because eventually, people who are bad fuck up and make good things all the time. It happens all the time. But these motherfuckers are for infinity. I'm just at a loss. I'm at a loss with this. It's just there's so few good songs left, and they ruin one a week at this point.
You should do what I do and skip the entrances. You might have to.
The entrances are gold because everything else, the character work. Gotta watch that.
You can put it on mute anyway if you have to. If you don't listen to the garbage.
I mean, I do that sometimes, but it's more for the commentary. But
fair enough. And then finally, I just wanted to bring this up. 2 things real quick. One was the Bayley thing where she's kind of like, I'm missing WrestleMania and I'm missing SummerSlam. You and I talked off air about what potentially could happen. I still feel like we're just kind of screwed in the Bayley front here. Maybe they'll do something with her. Maybe they won't. Not necessarily getting me very excited about the whole damn thing, but whatever. And then
Cardi B.
Yeah, I know, but they didn't.
She's hosting.
But they never really even promoted her. They made a big deal out about it.
Yeah, but they've been going back and forth on socials because Cardi B said who's going to step up, and Bayley was one of the ones talking shit. And they've gone back and forth. And Bayley's you've wanted this new character from her in WrestleMania. So I can blow another hope here. It's just you can have her fucking with Cardi B, be it go full heel. And it's just it's a 2-night thing. It's going to be multiple segments. They're making sure to promote this storyline. Usually where there's smoke, there's fire of Bayley not being on WrestleMania, not being on SummerSlam. You can feel it building. And it makes a lot of sense. I don't know if it'll lead to an impromptu match or anything, maybe down the line, but it just it feels like that's where they're going with this, which I think is very good for Bayley because I think this is the type of thing she needs.
Okay. Anything else? Do you have heat or are you good?
Well, I do have an AEW thing, but
go ahead. I have one more thing.
Are we going to talk about the fucking El Grande shit? Are we going to talk about this? We have to talk about this, right? What the fuck? What the fuck? A random other masked dude in a sweatsuit with El Grande. It clearly looks like Pete Dunne.
Yeah, I was hoping for
Like, what the fuck?
I was hoping for half a second. I'm like, maybe it is Chad Gable or maybe it is Dom, and I'm like,
No.
no, it's fucking Pete Dunne. And all I kept thinking about was maybe the big strong boy in him will come back, but then like, what does that have to do with anything? I don't know. And it's just like, if you watch what happened in AAA, El Grande Americano Ludwig version is doing fucking
He's doing
amazing.
amazing. Yeah.
So it's just
We're
like,
just gonna just keep putting Europeans as El Grande Americano until Gable comes back. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know. When I watched it, I went like, too many cooks, too many cooks. It takes a lot to make a stew. But man, I was just floored when I saw that. I went like, well, we jumped the shark. We left the dolphin on that, I think. On that particular instance. I think if they rear back on it and just have him, take his mask off and just leave Ludwig to do the whole thing, we're fine. But I mean, we're not in the writing room. We don't know where this is going. But as a fan, I went, it was fine. It was good. It was even great.
Well, it feels to me like that, obviously, because they highlighted LWO this week, the aim a title shot, because these guys are great in the ring. It's going to be a 2-on-2. And then when Gable comes back, they can do a 3-on-3. And they have the Creed brothers. And we know that the LWO has like 50 members. And plus now they have AAA to pick from. It just feels like it's just going to be 12-man lucha tags and all this shit. Like it just, it feels like that's what they're like, oh, we're not doing anything with Pete Dunne, just like we're not doing anything with Ludwig. Let's just keep making people we're not using into El Grande Americano until Gable comes back. Because this thing is, unfortunately, like we were supposed to get Gable versus Ray at WrestleMania. It probably would have been great, but it gets kicked off. And then it seemed like we're working back towards it. And now Gable's hurt. So it's just like this thing's been kind of cursed. So it's like they're trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. And Ludwig's doing that. But yeah, this one felt like they left the dolphin. But I'll try to be patient. But I was watching that shit and I was just like, I don't even know how to react to this. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
As a fan, you're like sitting there thinking, now look, I always love when people make the argument, I could do this better than X, right? In any argument, right? But there are instances, JC, where shit like this happens and you're like, is this the best you could fucking do?
Yeah.
Honest to God.
Yeah.
And this is the reason. This is the example that the previous statement I just said happens because people like us and people at home are going, seriously? You couldn't think of anything else to do and that's what you came up with? What did you all do? Go outside and fucking just smoke a little and come back and go, it'd be funny. Like, that's what I felt like happened here. And it's just like Pete Dunne, fucking the bruiserweight, right? Fucking on a tear NXT UK. Then he went to the fucking NXT and he fucking did amazing there. He comes up, he gets called as fucking Butch. And he made that fucking work.
I liked Butch a lot better than I've liked Pete Dunne in the main roster.
I know, but then like he gets back to Pete Dunne and then his tag team partner gets fucking canceled because he fucking hurt himself or whatever. And then it's just like, now he's back. I don't know. And I just feel like Pete Dunne can't get a fair share. I don't know. He's a super talented guy. He deserves a little bit more. I don't know. I'm just not happy with it at all. Not
It's
happy.
a weird choice.
Go ahead. You said AEW. I'll let you do your thing.
I do. Because I watched some of Dynamite because I'm trying to be a good wrestling fan, and I'm like, I'll watch last week's episode so I can prepare on this podcast to talk about it when Adam makes me talk about it.
Who the fuck is Adam?
And I'm watching this shit, and I go, there are two and a half things that work on this program. It's like Tony Storm, sometimes Mercedes, and then MJF and the Hurt Syndicate. They're already fucking breaking up MJF and the Hurt Syndicate? What? And then I was like, you know what? Okay. Well, they were hired to take out FTR. There was a faction at one time where MJF and FTR were in a faction. And I'm like, they make more sense than MJF and the Hurt Business. But it's just like, this is my problem with AEW. It's like you found something character-wise that is really good television. That like every week I look forward to these interactions because they work. Sometimes you got to milk it. Sometimes like WWE will over milk things, but it's just like I'd rather you over milk something than to cut it short. And this feels like they're cutting the fucking balls off when this fucking steed can still fucking make babies. Like, why are we fucking cutting the balls off? I don't know. This was not a good example. But it just, why are we cutting? Why are we cutting the balls off here? This is one of the best things you have going. And like, who knows? Maybe they're teasing like whatever, but it's just like, I feel like this is something they were starting to do as a joke, but it was so good they actually went through with it. But now it's just like, I don't know. Maybe they can sell it where it's all going to be a ruse and it'll whatever. But I don't know. This feels like more of the same shit out of them. It's like they have something good and they just can't help themselves but fucking ruin it.
All right. Fair enough.
It upsets me.
Clearly, because it was part of your heat here, bud.
Yeah.
All right. So time to get hopeful.
Glorious.
You're my only hope.
Bobby Roode, one of the stars of WWE on whatever.
Unreal.
Yeah. Because the producers are featured. And
hey, you know what? Abyss is in it. I'll watch it just for Abyss.
That's the only part you see him in, is that part of him like.
You know what's so funny though is like he played this character where he was like the fucking monster, and you see the fucking.
He looks so vulnerable in this fucking segment.
Yeah. Exactly. He's the opposite of Abyss.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Unfucking raised. Like
I thought that was crazy too, and that's like literally that. I think that one's in the first episode. Yeah. He hasn't been in it. There's obviously a lot of producers, but. I think like because they have way more than you think. There's a lot of Michael Hayes, but Roode does a lot of these high profile matches, so you see quite a bit of Robert Roode. But it is kind of funny to see these guys just work behind the camera a little bit. So
okay, I'm gonna guess you don't have a hope, so I'll go.
I have one, but you can go first.
So the one thing we didn't, not one thing, but many things we didn't talk about, but I think it was interesting, and I wanted to talk about it here. Was the Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn segment backstage. I thought that was really interesting. I think they should label this match, the loser has to tell the truth. Because I just find this incredibly interesting for a non-feud. That's been a feud. It's kind of a passe. And I like the way Sami was doing the whole, like, I can't get the monkey off my back. I can't go to be a world champion until I get this fucking thing out of the way. Now, your logic would dictate that Sami Zayn fucking snuffs this guy out and we're done. My hope, folks, is the exact opposite here. I would love to see what the world looks like with Karrion Kross winning this match with a less than 100% Sami Zayn and just fucking killing him. And then Sami Zayn saying Kross was right. I just want to see that because to me, I think there's more on the meat on the bone there. And this is the interesting thing for me. You've got August, September, October, November, December. Before we get into what I think Sami Zayn's a front runner for the Royal Rumble winner here, I say you let Sami Zayn go into an incredible downfall for the rest of the year. I want to see this guy fucking lose to everybody and everything. I want him to actually have to do, maybe he has to team up with Kross, do Kross's bidding. I want to see something like this just to keep him going, because when I was watching those two on camera on Monday, I kept thinking to myself, there's magic here. I know this feud has been going on for a while with the backstage jerking off and whatnot, but in terms of the physicality, it hasn't really happened a lot. So I would love to see this continue. I want to see Sami Zayn have a fucking downfall for the ages just to have the meteoric rise to really ramp him up to where he deserves to be as a world champion. And I just don't like seeing him win all the time. I know he's not an underdog anymore, but seeing him question himself would be far more entertaining to me than just have him fucking haluva kick the next fucking person he's going to face. So that's my hope. I want a complete downfall. I want Kross to win a big dub here on SummerSlam. That's what I want.
I'll say this for the Karrion Kross Sami Zayn thing. Kross has stated that his contract is up in August. So the outcome of this match will tell us if he's re-signed or not. Because if he loses, this might be the last time we see Karrion Kross in WWE. If he wins, that means that motherfucker got a new paycheck. So there you go.
I don't have the nuts to say that Kross is going to win, but I would love to.
We'll predict it later because I agree. I think he should. I think he deserves it. I think he should have won last time. And yeah, pull the fucking trigger, man. You got enough money.
Your hope?
My hope. So here's what I'm going to do, Nestlemania. I'm going to use my hope to go on a soapbox rant.
Okay.
Because I'm going to retroactively say that I already did my hope because the Vicaire Bella thing was pretty good. So if this just turns into a rant and not an actual hope, we'll just kind of, you'll have to imagine it in your mind that we're going to switch the places. Okay. Our audience is very intelligent. I trust them and I love them, much like Marcus Smart. And I have faith that they can figure it out. So my hope segment, I want to talk about Blake Monroe, Nestlemania, because there's a lot of discourse about Blake Monroe. And for me, from my opinion, watching, first of all, I love this entrance. I think it's great. And I enjoy the character. I've gotten used to the name change. But obviously the internet, it's a very one-sided place because that's where the virgins live. It's not always real life. We can just call them AW fans because that's what they are. But it's just one of those that WWE has watered her down. They've made her whatever. It's like, no. Mariah May reached the peak of what she could be in AEW by being that type of character, because that type of character only works for a very small audience. To be the bigger star and the biggest star you can be, you do have to, if you want to call it, water down or adjust or not be as extreme character-wise, because WWE is for everyone. There's a lot of fucking kids who watch it. There's like AEW obviously has kids, but they do a lot of things in AEW that kids probably shouldn't fucking watch. So part of the package of the transition of going to WWE, and it can work for some, it can't work for others. I think Blake's actually doing a good job. Whereas my boy Ricky, I don't think is done a good job. And I think that's why his progress is a little different. But I've enjoyed this character and I'm watching her and I'm like, I think she can be, and I hate to compare this just because they're blondes and they're both young, but it's like, I think she can be what we all want Tiffany to be very easily, but like different and better, because I just think there's a different level of obviously background in Reign. But I just think character wise, I'm like, in terms of whether she's going to be a heel like she is now, or if you eventually make her a babyface, so like, I just think she has the range to pull off either and be like the top star in the company. I'm glad that she's NXT. I'm glad that they're playing it slow with her, but I'm enjoying the presentation so far. It's pretty much my rant. And I think all you little dorks on the internet who can't grasp what's going on here, give your head a shake, pal. And maybe, try not to be a weirdo. But yeah, that's my hope rant. Because hashtag JC knows. Hashtag JC's hopes come true. So yeah, you can do that you want. But yeah, I just watching NXT. I'm enjoying Blake Monroe. That was the other thing that stood out to me besides the Ethan Page segment. So I didn't bring up my shine because I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll just rant about it in the hope if I don't have a hope. So there we go.
Sure.
Anyway, are you enjoying the Blake Monroe experience?
I think it's great. I mean, the one thing I was going to say in a different direction would be, I don't necessarily it's not just the name change of the presentation. I look at Blake Monroe versus Mariah May as completely different characters.
You have to.
And I think when people say they watered down, I think they think it's the same person. Now,
exactly.
She's not. And I think that's the hardest part when you're a wrestling fan, regardless of like John Cena the person or John Cena the character. It's hard when they have the same name. Now, at least there's a difference in the name and the presentation in NXT with Blake Monroe. But as you're describing that whole thing, I went to myself and I thought, I think she's doing a fine job. Like, I think
she's doing a great job.
Yeah, I think she's doing what she can do, but she's doing everything they ask her to do. So I don't have an issue with it. I think there's people that are just, people need to expand their brains when they're watching something and say like, okay, you know what? When you're watching an actor go into a movie, they're not playing the same, hopefully they're not playing the same role over and over and over again. You know what I mean? Like, yes, There's people out there that kind of play the same genre of character, but she's taking, in my opinion, she's going out on a limb here. She's doing something different then. So I have no problem with it because I can separate in my head and go, hey, she's evolving. She's doing something different. So these people who are complaining about it just don't necessarily take that logic into consideration when they're talking, because they don't have the ability to have that cognitive experience in their head to go, I'm watching a person portray a different character now. Yeah. They just can't do it. So I think that's the disconnect with those type of people that you call virgins.
Yes, and I think to give it even more context, to put it like very simply, and I know I used Ricky as an example, but he's kind of a half-assed example, and I'll get into that in a second, but one of my clips that I remember very vividly of when Cody was signed, Vince literally said to him, he's like, I don't want you to change anything. We are buying the Cody Rhodes package. We want your entrance. We are buying you as is, and we are taking you as is, and we are putting you on our shelves. An example in NXT right now, someone they did that with, they bought Ethan Page as is, and they're putting him on their shelves. They're like, we want Ethan Page. You are Ethan Page. You are exactly what you have been. We want that. the reason why I call Ricky a half is that they kept the name Ricky for a reason, because I think they want him to be that similar character. But they obviously changed his last names. It could be for many reasons, but it's also like, I think they're looking for something a little different from him. I don't think they've gotten it from him yet. But I think he will, because he's a stud. But if you look at the example of, like you said, with Blake Monroe is not Mariah May, it's like the same thing. Like another AEW example, he hasn't been as successful, but Lexis King is Lexis King because they're like, we want you to be something different. We're separating you from this. We see it all the time. Like the people come in, they get different names just because, like you said, they're trying to present something different. And it's like, I don't think people can fully grasp that, but I think the perfect comparison is right now people can look at Ethan Page versus Blake Monroe. The difference in what it is they bought Ethan Page to be Ethan Page. They bought Blake Monroe to be something that they feel like is probably going to be more and superior and can be more molded because she is younger and more of a prospect, where Ethan Page and Cody Rhodes, when they came in, like they were Ethan Page and Cody Rhodes. Like they're veterans. They're there. We want that. Like there's a reason AJ Styles came in. He was fucking AJ Styles. Penta came in. He's Penta. Ray Phoenix is coming. He's Ray Phoenix. Like these guys, like they're older. They're more established. Their characters are set. We want that. But I think with someone like Mariah May and Blake Monroe, she's still so freaking young. It's like, we can make you something into more than what you are and shape you into like what we can envision as the top star someday. So I think that's just something that people have to get their head around. I think this was a good informational segment, Nestlemania.
I think we educated the masses.
I think this was a good use of my hope. When
I think it was. I think, listen, as someone who falls ass backwards into things, you're doing a very good job this week. I will just say you should go on vacation more often and come back with nothing, because you're doing a great job. This is a podcast where you have actually done more without doing anything. So congratulations to you.
I think it's also helpful to talk things like this out, because especially when you have someone to bounce ideas off of. I mean, normally you're a moron and like it's like throwing my ideas into the abyss, but you know, today it was very productive. Very productive sesh. Should we get to the comeback?
We should go to the comeback, yeah.
I'll do my comeback first, Nestlemania. My comeback is going to a certain woman who has been rumored to come back forever. She's been out a long time. She has a few things that are a little different about her. But on SmackDown, Kiana James returned to television. She's representing Julia, which I think is a perfect decision, because I think this benefits Julia. It's also an easy way to work Kiana back in. But she also got to wrestle on Main Event. But I will say the best part of this segment was Zelina calling Kiana a clipboard Karen. That popped me. I thought that was very funny. Because, you know, like much like Kentucky Fried Convict, I love a good insult and a good one-liner. Perfect. But I think this is a good way to bring her back, because we've been kind of thinking, like, where do you bring her back? Especially because you're debuting like Julia and Vaquer and like Roxy earlier in the year. It's like you have all these women that have come up. Lyra's finally started to hit her stride. Kiana was drafted like last year, but then obviously she had the surgery. But I feel like now it feels like this is a good way to work her in. I've always been high on her, mainly because she is a Sean Spears student, and I think very highly of Sean Spears. But I do think when I watched her in NXT, I'm like, this gimmick isn't a good gimmick for NXT, but I think it's one of those gimmicks you get to the main roster, it works a lot better. So I think she does have some good potential. I think this is a good way to work her in. She is very good at being the mean girl. Now her look has been elevated a little more. I think this is the right time. So I'm excited. And Kiana James, you're getting my comeback.
That's pretty dope. I'm going to give my comeback to someone who was out 6 weeks, and I forgot he was 6 weeks. Seems like he's not with Mello anymore. The Miz. I was very excited to see him, because I kind of said, what the fuck? Because they screwed up Mello too. I don't know what the hell's going on with Mello there.
Mello was trending the other day.
I know. Congratulations to him. That's a big deal. Hopefully they actually see it instead of ignore it. But all I kept thinking about was the Miz, and then he slapped the shit out of Jacob, and I went,
you gonna learn today.
You gonna get some, you know what I mean? Like, I was just like, wow, like, good for him. And then, like, I've beat Hall of Famers, I've been legends. I was like, good for him to be reminded of what he was done. Now he had a match with Jacob and fucking hurt himself, and the MFTs came out and everything was fine. So it's nice to see the Miz and the thing. He might be the replacement for Mac if Mac can't get back in time. I assume Mac will be back because he's the Mac. He's a fucking Terminator. He'll find his way back.
He's still got several days, so
I think I'm banking on him being there, because I think he makes the feud even better. But the Miz is a suitable replacement, and obviously there's connective tissue with Logan Paul anyway, so I think that'll work if deterioration happens. But no, I think the Miz is one of a kind, and it's always great to be reminded how good the Miz is, because I think a lot of people do not give that man credit. He is a great, great piece of WWE.
Absolutely. You ain't getting arguments here. You know how I feel about the Miz.
Mm-hmm.
Big old finish, Nestlemania?
Let's get to the big old finish.
So on SmackDown, we do have Julia versus Zelina rematch. I'm assuming that Julia will retain there on Monday, like we mentioned earlier. Sheamus, Rusev 3. Not sure if there's other things booked, but that's what we got on the menu. But Nestlemania for the menu for Saturday and Sunday. We have 6 matches each night for SummerSlam. Should we get right into it?
We should get right into it. By the way, did you see what Danny said about Javon Evans?
No.
He said there's a coast to coast we have to watch. I saw it. I'll let you have your own
Good
spot.
or bad?
Athleticism, it's a 10.
All right, as always with him, I fucking love Javon Evans.
But the cutter to me is far better. What I just saw on Twitter was fucking phenomenal. But I will say this much: connection on the fucking coast to coast dog shit. So it is what, in my opinion. But I was gonna let you have your own.
I'll have to see. I love Javon Evans. That boy is bouncy.
That boy is bouncy.
He is one of my favorite in ring to watch right now, up there with Ray Phoenix and Andrade, who are now a tag team.
Imagine if you have Ray Phoenix versus Bouncy Boy.
I mean, dude, like it's just throwing Ricochet, making a triple threat, and fucking my eyes are gonna be like boop, 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 ping pong balls. All right, SummerSlam, night 1, 6 matches. First up, we have a singles match for the WWE Women's Championship. It's Tiffy time, defends her title against Jade Cargo. Nestlemania, I hope Jade wins, and I think Jade will win. Give me Jade and New.
I'm going to say Jade as well, because I feel like you kind of said it the best here, where you said that Tiffany's had a longer run, and I don't think Tiffany's had a really good run in general. So I'm tired of it, and she needs to go away and learn a new hold. So
next up, tag team match player, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll versus we think Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. Nestlemania, I don't think Jelly's coming in here to lose. I think he's going to pin Logan Paul, and hopefully this will be fun.
Sorry, I can't really say this out loud, but when you get a shot, go to the Jobber Knocker thread and see what people wrote in for this match. There's a particular person who's a real asshole. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, I'm gonna pick RKO or RK Jelly or whatever they're gonna call themselves. What do they call themselves? RK something?
I have no fucking idea.
RK Roll, perhaps.
RK Roll.
RK Roll. But anyway, I'm gonna pick them. I assume you're gonna pick them too, right?
Yeah, I'm picking the Jelly man.
Did you see what I was talking about, by the way?
I did. Okay. Next up, singles match. Nestle wants it to have a stipulation of something. I can't remember what he said, but Sami Zayn takes on Karrion Kross with Scarlett. I hope Karrion Kross wins Nestlemania, but I really want to pick him. But I'm gonna take Sami Zayn just because I hope I'm wrong on this.
Safe.
No, I just hope I'm wrong. It's one of those where it's like, I hope since I predict it that I'm wrong, but at least if I'm wrong, I'll get credit for being.
I am also going to pick Zayn because I just don't think they're going to pull the trigger. I just don't think they're going to pull the trigger. I have faith in Cross. I don't have faith in WWE.
Coward. We're both cowards here in the Jobber Knocker podcast. We both got Sami Zayn. Next up, another tag team match player, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso taking on Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman. I don't think fucking Roman Reigns is losing, so give me Reigns and Jey.
I agree with you, but my question to you, JC, is obviously Roman Reigns and Jey seem to be winning here. However, my question to you is, without Seth Rollins being here, let's just say that he's actually injured. I'm still not buying that. What do you do with Roman now?
Well, he's probably going to go away.
He came back for 3 weeks to do that?
Probably.
That's fucking
You think
stupid.
He's wrestling at Clash in Paris? Maybe they bring him back for War Games, but maybe not. We might not fucking see that motherfucker till the Rumble. I don't know.
For fuck's sake.
He's not until he wrestles Seth Rollins one-on-one, what can he do that's meaningful if he's not fighting for a title? It's either fighting for a title or it's fighting Seth Rollins.
Can he go after Punk?
They do have a little bit of but where do you do that? That feels like a WrestleMania match. You're not doing that at fucking War Games or Clash in Paris or whatever fucking events they have towards the end of the year here.
Okay.
At worst, that's like a Royal Rumble match.
Okay.
Especially if Punk has the title, but who knows? I don't know if he will. But yeah, no, I don't know. I just feel like they win, he goes bye-bye, and then they just Braun and Bronson pretend like they didn't lose and they keep running Ripshot on Raw, and it's more of the same. Next up, there's a lot of tag team matches play here on night 1 for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships here. The Judgment Day, Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez take on Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. I think this is the easiest and new I have ever seen. Give me the not friends of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss.
You sold that very easily, as if like it's a foregone conclusion.
It feels like it is. It feels like they got something that works, something that's marketable. Yeah, and who knows? Maybe Liv returns and costs them.
I don't think if Liv's out for 9 months, I don't think that.
Yeah, no, I don't either. But I think this is just. I just think they realize they have something here with Charlotte and Alexa, and they're going to pull the trigger.
I'm picking it as well that Charlotte. I mean, we're not friends. T-shirts are already made, so I feel like you are right with a foregone conclusion here. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just weird to me.
I believe we only have one match left here on night one. It is a singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship. The Ring General Gunther defends against CM Punk. Nestlemania, who you got?
My heart wants Punk to win. My brain's telling me Gunther based on the shitty fucking build up to this entire thing. And Gunther just got it back. When was it? Like, it was like a month or two ago. I'm picking Gunther because I just feel like there's not enough steam behind Phil. That's all I'm going to say. But I will be pleasantly surprised if he wins. My heart of hearts still thinks there's hope out there, folks. Seth Rollins is just fucking with him. And he's fucking coming back to either. Here's the thing. Even if he's hurt, why can't he come out on crutches and beat the shit out of Punk and cost him?
He does have a faction too.
Right? So, I mean, if you really want Gaga and you want connective tissue from Roman Reigns, you could have Seth Rollins come out on the fucking crutches, hurt fucking CM Punk, cost him the match. Roman Reigns comes out to fucking get, Seth Rollins going. He misses the punch on Rollins and hits Punk, and then they were off to the races at some point down the line there. We could do that. It's not difficult. So,
yeah, I'm going to pick Gunther. I don't know. I can't. I'm not coming up with a good scenario of Punk winning. I don't know. It feels like there's too many people that would cause. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. So give me Gunther.
Also, I know you're going to think like I'm an idiot anyway, but let me just say this point. We know that that's just baseline. We get it. You don't think I'm fun and you don't think I'm smart. And there's other things there, I'm sure. Like you barely there's so many things you don't like about me. We get it.
I don't even have to insult you. You just insult yourself for me.
I mean, we get it. You don't like me. Anyway, moving on. Punk saying like, I don't want the title because I don't know like what will happen. I'm afraid when I get the title, what'll happen to me. And then like he cuts a promo last week where he's like, I need this. And I'm just like, man, seriously? Like, I don't know. I just there's something about it. It just seems like consistent wise. It's like, do you want it or not, Phil? Should or get off the fucking pot? That's all.
Yeah. So you're picking Gunther as well?
Yes.
We head to night 2, Nestlemania, also 6 matches, and we're going to start with the clusterfuck. 6-pack tables, ladders, and chairs, maybe stairs, Rowan is involved, for the WWE Tag Team Championships. Catch my breath. The Wyatt Six of Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy defend their titles against Andrade and Rey Fenix, the team of DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, the team of Fraxium, Axiom and Nathan Frazier, the team of the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. I think the Wyatt Six are probably just going to retain here, but I'm looking forward to the chaos.
You're going to pick Wyatt Six? All right.
You're not?
Here's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
All right. Probably not going to be the Street Profits, right? I'm thinking it's definitely not going to be the Motor City Machine Guns. Those guys are basically toast.
Hater.
No, I love them. I just don't think they're interesting anymore.
I think you're an ageist.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. I'm sexist.
I don't like Nikki Bella because she's older, and I don't like the Motor City Machine Guns because they're older.
There
What other old guys don't you like, Nestlemania?
Oldberg. Listen, I don't think it's going to be the Wyatt Six. The Street Profits just fucking, they just lost those things.
The Wyatt Six just won them. You think they're just going to get rid of them already?
This is an easy way to get rid of them. They suck, Mike. They suck, Mike. I think we're getting an and new, whether it's the hot team of Andrade and Phoenix or Fraxium. I'm going to go out on a limb here and pick We Are De Niro. Fraxium, not happening. It's going to be Phoenix and Andrade winning those puppies on Sunday night.
I mean, I'd be cool with that because I love watching those two wrestle. So they're magic, but no, it's the Wyatt Six. Lock it up. Next up, singles match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Dirty Dominic Mysterio defends against the one and only AJ Styles. I'm picking Dom. But I'm excited
Wow.
for this match. This has been a fun lead up.
I mean, a lot of people are picking AJ Styles here, so just just thought I'd throw that in
and
there.
they're all going to be wrong.
Okay. I'm also picking Dom because I feel like he is doing an amazing what?
Whenever you set it up with like, oh, do the thing, just pick the same thing as me, anyways.
Well, if I went first, I would have been the one picking it, so you wouldn't have known that.
I don't know. I think you're just copying me.
No, I think it's a copycat league, right? No, really, but I think that watching Dom in Mexico, I was just like, this is it. Like, this is the meteoric rise of Dominic Mysterio. Like, shit or get off the pot. This is the time to do it. Let's go. So I think by hook or by crook or some type of, maybe Roxanne does something here to pledge her love for him, but it's fucking happening. Romeo's fucking winning this one somehow.
Dom by chicken nuggets.
Yeah. Dom by Perezing. There we go.
There you go. Next up, Nestlemania, we have a steel cage match for the WWE United States Championship. Solo Sikoa defends his championship against the one and only Jacob Fatu. Who you got?
Yeah. By the way, this is a cage match. You must be fucking ecstatic about this.
You know how I feel about cage matches.
I'm picking Solo because I think the idea is that Jacob should win. However, I think Solo is doing a lot of great work, and a lot of his MFTs are going to be everywhere. I don't think Big Jim and company can help get rid of all the fucking bumbling idiots that Solo has. So I think somehow, some way, Solo continues this, and Jacob is on to bigger and better things.
I agree. There are just way too many ways for Solo to retain because I am someone who's good at math and I can count. Solo has about 80,000 people working for him. Jacob has one friend. And as we see with these steel cage matches, they're very easy to get in and out of because they just fucking open the door. So that won't be a problem. So yeah, Solo retains. Next up. Oh, God. Stipulations on stipulations. No disqualification. No count out. Last chance match, which we already did, for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. If Lynch wins, Lyra can no longer challenge for the title as long as Lynch is champion, which I thought already was a stipulation when Lyra had to fucking raise her hand. But regardless, Becky Lynch defends against Lyra. Does Lyra get her title back? I say yes.
I would think yes here, because if not, then why did we give her another shot?
I think the only way that I think Becky would retain is if Bayley costs Lyra.
But you said the Cardi B thing, so I
think so. So that's why I'm leaning Lyra wins, because then you can do the Bayley thing the next night, have her attack Lyra. But I don't know. It feels like the way they've done this feud, it feels like this is a hot potato thing where Becky got the check mark. Now she can put over her fucking protege again, and Lyra can go back. But I'm not as confident as I should be, but just the way they booked it, it feels like that's what they're doing.
I think that although Lyra has come out of her shell in this entire thing, I think she's the least exciting that she's been right now.
Don't agree with that, because I think she still has really good momentum. But what I do like is also they have teased the potential turn for her at some point, because I think there's a heel in there a little bit. But obviously she has a little momentum now, so it isn't to do it. But I'm glad we at least got like little glimpses during this little three-way dance these girls have been doing.
Okay.
2 matches left, Nestlemania, and they're bangers. Well, one of them we know will be the other one. We hope it is, unlike last time. Triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. Naomi defends her title against Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. I mean, Naomi's retaining, but I expect this to be a good match.
I really want Naomi to win. I think she will win, because they're going to keep this whole Rhea Ripley can't beat Io Sky going. And I find it very interesting. I really do. I don't know how long it'll last. Maybe it'll be forever. That'd be great. But Rhea Ripley as a champion doesn't excite me anymore. She's kind of above the belt in some ways. Io just had it. She's done a great job. She can do other things. I still think that there's a chance here the Kabuki Warriors fuck both these women over. So
I think there's money in that tag match, like you talked about last week. Like, because Rhea and Io clearly have like a thing. And yeah, I think there could be some good if Naomi needs it. But Naomi is walking out with that belt one way or another. We just don't know how. Main event time.
I am so curious your thoughts on this. I really am.
Street fight for the undisputed WWE Championship. John Cena defends his title against Cody Rhodes. Now, Nestlemania, there is a lot to discuss here because we have not talked about this feud pretty much for weeks, because I wasn't on last week, and it's one of those where it's interesting because I've kind of said consistently that I don't really want Cody to be the one to beat Cena after, because I don't think it benefits him at all. But I also understand that it makes the most sense for Cody to beat Cena this entire time, because I think it is the easiest way for, at the end of the match, Cena can acknowledge Cody. He can go away, take a few weeks off or whatever, and then come back and finish up as a babyface. I think that's the cleanest way to do it. It's always been the way that's made the most sense. SummerSlam was always the one it did. The rematch with Cody always made sense, because him like acknowledging Cody after the match or whatever and holding up his arm or whatever they do, a hug, I think it's just like an instant like whatever. But
Did he crap out? What the hell happened there? I don't know. Unfortunately, I think he's gone. Oh, well then. Well, I guess we'll never know. I'm going to pick Cody Rhodes to win this entire thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting. That was a cliffhanger of all cliffhangers. I guess JC's, maybe his power went out. I have no idea, folks. This is very bizarre. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Anyway, I guess I'm going to pick Cody, and I'll find out what happened to JC. I guess that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening to the Jobber Knocker podcast. And we'll be back next week, hopefully with the power back on, and we'll see what happens. So until then, we'll be back next week with some more Jobber Knockery.